and welcome to another exciting video, and in this one we'll be looking at how we can make use of chain for composable error handling with nested ethers. So here we have a function, and this function is called getPort, and we'll see how we can refactor this function that makes use of the try catch to a single composed expression using either. We'll be then introducing the chain function to deal with the nested ethers resulting from two try-catch calls. So over here, at the moment, we have this function which is simulating that there's a file called config.json, and on reading it, it's going to return us the port 8080. And if this file is not there, then it is going to return a default value of port 3000. So here, when we'll run this in terminal, you can see that if I execute this try catch, I get this 8080 as the output. Now if I go ahead and remove this as config.json, in that case, if I execute this try catch, you can see I'm getting this value of 3000 as the output because it's going over here in the catch block and then it's returning 3000. So here you can see that I have created these right and left methods, and what we'll do now is we'll create one more method and we'll call it as try catch. So here we'll say const try catch, and this try catch is going to have a function as an input, and here we will be making use of try and catch internally. So here this is like a single place where we have this taken care of. So we have the try catch. Now in the try, what we are doing is we'll be capturing the write. So here we'll say write of f. If the file is found, then we'll go ahead and say write of f, and we'll be reading this particular file and we'll be returning 8080 as the output. Now if there is an error, in that case we will be going with left of e. So here we'll have left of e. Now let's save this. So we have the try catch now, and this is the method that we were making use of earlier. Let's go ahead and comment this now, and over here we'll be making use of getPort, as you can see over here, and then we will be having this try catch. Within the try catch, we'll have this function fs.readline file sync config.json, and then on top of this we'll be making use of the map method. So we'll say .map, and then the content that we have read from this block fs.readFileSync, we'll be making use of it over here using map. So we'll say json.parse, and within this we'll be passing C over here. So now we have read the content. It's time to unfold it and print the port. So we'll make use of the fold method over here, and we'll say if it's error, then we'll have the left value, that's default 3000. Otherwise the right one will have the port number printed. So we'll say c.port, and that's pretty much it. Let's go ahead and now call this method over here. So save it and run this trycatch.js now, and here we have the output 8080. So in the try catch, you can see that what we were doing is, first of all, it's expecting a function as an input. So here we are returning write of f. So we are having this function executed over here. So when the content is read from this particular file, our method fs.readFileSync, at this line, we are trying to retrieve the result and then pass it on over here in the map function. Then it's trying to parse that JSON, and finally it's returning the result. Now fold, as you can see, takes two parameters. One is the left one, so if there is an error, we'll be getting this value as output. If not, everything is fine, then we'll get the port address, and over here you can see we are getting port address. Now let's go ahead and make some mistakes over here. So I'll again get this file name incorrect, save this, and try running try catch again. This time you'll be getting 3000 as the output. Now there's one more thing that we need to take care of. Let's say this data that is being read from the JSON file is corrupt. So even though the file name remains correct and the content itself is not a valid JSON, in that case, it should throw an error. So here, we are trying to stringify this data. Now let's go ahead and remove it from here and don't pass anything. Let's see what happens when we try running this now. As you can see, it's throwing an error. It says undefined, not a valid JSON. So for such scenarios, we still have to ensure that our method getPort returns us 3000 as the output. To resolve this, we'll be creating one more method in our right and left, and that is going to be called chain over here. So it's going to look a lot like the fold, but the purpose of this method is entirely different than fold. So we have chain f of x, and then over here in the left one, we'll have it as chain f left of x. So here the definition resembles the map, and over here it resembles the definition of fold. Now let's see how we can make use of this chain to overcome the issue that we just now encountered. So here, this is the getPort method that we had earlier, and this one is the new method. So what we are doing over here now, first of all, we are reading the content from the file. Now, if the content is valid, then we are going ahead and parsing it as we were doing earlier using the map method. But notice over here that with chain, we are internally, first of all, checking whether the data is actually a valid JSON or not. And if it is, then we are going ahead and parsing it. If it's not, then we are running a try catch on that. And that try catch will again call the left function, which is going to throw or provide the output as 3000. So here the output will be again executed like this, because now in config.json, we don't have a valid JSON actually. So let's save this and try executing it now. And there you go. We have 3000 as the output. Now if I go ahead and restore the stringify data over here, save it and rerun this time you can see the port is coming at 8080. So the similarity that we had over here, like chain and with fold, if you observe, is going to capture the idea of removing a value from its context, taking it out of the box, whether it's a right or a left or box itself. On the other hand, chain expects you to run a function and return another one. Now we'll be keeping this convention and intuition as we go along. They are two very different functions, even though they might have the same definitions sometimes.